Mrs. Norton asked me to come by and talk a little bit about the upcoming election, which, if my math is right, I think it's about 26 days from today. I have a long career in politics. Most recently, I was Senator Rick Santorum's presidential campaign manager for South Carolina. And a little funny story about Senator Santorum, he is the only presidential candidate who's been through the lower school carpool. Right? You were there. Yeah, he stayed with us one day, and he sat in the front seat while Caroline stayed in the back seat, and he went through the lower school carpool, so he's experienced all what you guys have. Who knows who was in the debate last night? Who were the people in the debate last night?
Joe Biden and
You got half, which is good. Who knows the other half? Addie.
Ryan.
Paul Ryan. Works almost identical to a football game.
Yes.
They go out and raise money, and they begin the process of meeting voters. I told you Senator Santorum came through the lower school carpool. He came to the great state of South Carolina 31 times before the election, tried to meet voters, tried to meet folks, speak to folks, raise money to seek their election, seek their vote. And so, in the first quarter of every campaign, you get candidates established, and you begin the courting process, getting to know the voters. Now, the second quarter is the most critical point. That's where we have a lot of our debates, and we have a decision in the second quarter. The second quarter, we pick relative candidates from each party. There are a lot of parties, but the two predominant parties in America are Republicans and Democrats. And I will just tell you I'm a Republican, been my whole life, and so it doesn't matter which one you are, because in this day and age we vote for either one. Both sides are great. Our country is split. The Republican nominee, and his name is?
Mitt Romney.
And Mitt Romney's former position was, he was the
Governor of Massachusetts.
President Obama, okay, was nominated in Charlotte, and so now about their policies, they established their positions, and now, with the start of that first debate where President Obama and Mitt Romney met in Colorado, we're in the fourth quarter. We're on the final track to the election. Does anybody know what day the election is? Let's try someone out.
November 6th.
November 6th, outstanding. November 6th. It's always, always, always the first Tuesday of November. So November 6th, the country will decide whether to keep President Obama or to replace President Obama with
Mitt Romney.
Gotcha. Now,
Whoever gets more votes from the Electoral College wins the election.
that is amazingly an exact answer. Every state, you look at your numbers. See these numbers at the bottom of your sheet? If you look at the numbers at the bottom of your sheet, those are your electoral votes. Now, those of you with the lower numbers, and the lowest number in that group is 3. You guys are great. We love you. But you're not quite as important as... Who has California? California has 55 votes, and let's go South Dakota. Jack, how many do you have? 3.
Alaska has 3.
Our federal government is based on the House of Representatives and the Senate. For each state, how many United States senators do you have? 2. Everybody, doesn't matter whether you're big or small, you have 2 U.S. senators. The House, the House has determined the number of congressmen you have by your population. Thus, the great state of California has 55, and wonderful South Dakota has 3. So the House is your percentage, the number of congressmen, and you add them together. Okay? I was born in New Hampshire, great state up in the New England area. They've got 2 senators and two members of the House, 4 votes. California, okay, has 2 senators, and they have 53 congressional districts, thus 55 votes. California, Texas, Florida, and New York. Those four states are the 4 most populous states in the nation. They therefore have the 4 most electoral votes. So when you're running for election, the very first thing you want to do is figure out, can I win these 4 states? Does anybody know the number of electoral votes needed to win the presidency? The number is
129?
270. The number you need to be elected President of the United States is 270.
At least?
At least. You cannot be elected President of the United States unless you reach that number. So these 4 people need your vote. Now here's the tip on the Electoral College. If you have the color red, that means, as of today, in the media polling, you are leaning towards what party? Republican. Republicans are identified with the color red. You guys right now are in the column for the Republicans. Blue. Where are the blue guys? Alright, you guys, as I'm polling today, you guys are in the bank for the Democrat Party. So if Mitt Romney's team says, look, I can't spend money or resources in any of these states because they typically vote Democratic because I can't win here, they're looking at these guys to be their backstop. Barack Obama is looking at these guys to be his backstop. Now, if you are gray, stand up. These states will decide the presidential election. So the presidential candidates will spend between now and the rest of the election in these states. They're not going to worry about New York and California. They're not going to worry about Texas. They're going to worry about Florida, Ohio, Missouri, Michigan, Nevada, Iowa, Virginia. Simple. Oftentimes, California's got 55 votes, but if you get a lot of 3-vote states, you can catch up. It allows the people all over America to make a decision and elect the next president. Just because you're in a large state, if we just did it by popular vote, Barack Obama would spend all his time in California because if he gets a lot of those votes, it's got the biggest state, he could win. But we want to do is allow California voters to have the same say as South Dakota or South Carolina or Wisconsin. And what the benefit of our elections is it allows the middle of America, what we call the Rust Belt, this section of America, which really goes Michigan, Indiana, all the way through here, and a little bit of our west, to really tell how elections are going to go. But here's a provision you have to know about Florida. Florida has a senior population. It has a large Hispanic population. It's a constant change of folks. It's a tourist industry. A lot of folks move in there to work for Disney and Busch Gardens. This state, in each election, looks different. So Florida becomes an important state. So you're going to see your candidates. You're going to hear a lot about Minnesota, a lot about Iowa, a lot about Wisconsin, a lot about Missouri, and Florida. That's how our election is done. And at the end of the day, come November 6th, that night, somewhere around midnight, hopefully, you'll know who the next president is. Any questions?